How the heck are you, everybody? Good Tuesday to you. It is the 16th day of July, 2019. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is on the air in high definition stereophonic sound. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Megan was humming the theme to the show in my ears we got going here on this Tuesday, which reminds me that theme song is a placeholder. When we first launched this show about 3 years ago now, it was in July of, I guess it's been about 3 years. We needed the theme, of course, for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, so we went through our musical library that we have the rights to, and I found this little ditty. It's called Sunny Side Up. I thought that would work. And the owners of the station said, oh, yeah, that'll work for the time being, but we'll find something that we'd like better. But for the time being, we'll go with that, and we'll dig a little deeper into the theme song a little bit later on. And we never did. So we still have the same theme that we've had for 3 years. It's called Sunny Side Up, and it's a pretty good little song. I think I'll write lyrics to it, and I'll sing the opening theme for this show. No, I'm not going to do that. Good stuff for you today. We still got this strange weather pattern. It's just been cooler than normal for an extended period of time, and it's going to stay that way. In fact, it's going to get a little on the windy side. We've got a couple of low-pressure troughs that are kind of battling each other, and neither one is actually winning, but it's making our weather certainly unsettled. Atmosphere is unstable. Things are going to change for the weekend, by the way. In fact, we're going to get to where we're supposed to be by the time we get to next week, which is hot. We just got to get there, first of all. But for the next few days, get ready for some windy conditions. Weather forecast details are coming up. We got news. We got sports. Eric Granstrom went fishing this morning. He's going to check in with us on the Columbia River, not far from the BB Bridge, when we get to sports here in just a couple of minutes. Plus the obscure holiday birthdays. Everyone is entitled to my Big 90s opinion. And in the conversation portion of this program, it's Rhona Baron, my good friend Rhona Baron from the Cascade Foothills Farmland Association. They're hosting the second annual Ciderfest. It's called the Big Chill. Ciderfest is this Saturday in Cashmere at the Riverside Center, inside and outside. We'll talk about that. It's a great event, a really, really good event. Cider's catching on big now here in North Central Washington, and we're at the very hub of that wheel. So we'll talk with Rhona in the back half of the program and everything else that you're so used to on this Tuesday. So let's get going. Let's take you around North Central Washington at 3 minutes after the hour with our Valley View cameras, our PTZ cameras, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless setup. Of course, the cross camera begins our festivities. Bats lead off. That's my baseball analogy. Went to the ball game last night at Paul Thomas Senior Field. The U.S. Military All-Stars were in town. Obviously, it was a non-league game. Alpha Sox were victorious. They had nice little ceremonies before the games actually played. We'll have some video of that, by the way, for the news later on tonight. It was good stuff. Nice night at the ballpark. Even though it was a little rainy at times, we had a pretty good crowd. About 800 people showed up at Paul Thomas Senior Field. Beautiful view. Look at that. Look at the mighty Columbia just rolling right along. Of course, I mentioned this before. The Columbia runs fast all the time. And if I was not alive, but I wonder what it would have been like before any of the dams came along on the Columbia River, because the Columbia River has a fairly dramatic elevation drop. It's not a very long river, but it doesn't take its sweet time. It hurries from the upper Okanagan area up in Canada all the way to the Pacific Ocean. It's got a pretty good clip to it. It's now slower than it was because of the dams, but still, it runs pretty fast for a big river. Camera 2, where are we off to, Megan? I don't know. Megan gets to decide. She says Chelan Falls looks good this morning, and by golly, Chelan Falls does look good this morning. Hello, Chelan Falls. Good to have you on board. Now, if the clouds weren't there, that sun would be shining right into the lens of that camera. And we are going to have fairly cloudy skies today and cool weather, but then we'll see some sunshine too. It's kind of a mixed bag. We'll see if we can get up to a near normal, although I have my doubts. Camera 3. Let's say hello and good morning to, is that the Waterville camera, Megan? Yeah, Waterville camera pointing down towards the mighty Columbia River there again. That's a nice view. Earthquake Point is on your far, far left. I had to explain to some of my coworkers what Earthquake Point is and why it's called Earthquake Point. It's called Earthquake Point, Megan. Yes, that's an inside joke between Megan and I. There you go. It's a beautiful view. What an incredible view from the Waterville camera. I love it up there. Waterville's a beautiful area. It really is. Camera number 1, 2, 3, 4. I lost track. Is that Nanapoc Ridge? Okay. Fish Lake, almost in view. Lake Wenatchee, not quite in view. Speaking of our very own Eric Granstrom, he went up to Fish Lake over the weekend to see if he could catch some fish. I don't know how good they did. They said it was a little on the windy side up at Fish Lake over the weekend. Fish Lake is usually really fast action. I've fished Fish Lake many, many times, and I don't think I've ever once gone fishing at Fish Lake and not caught a fish. Sometimes I caught a lot of fish. That's why they call it Fish Lake instead of calling it just Lake. Makes sense to me. So that's our tour around North Central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley, courtesy of LocalTel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless setup. If you want wireless internet without, high-speed internet, I should say, without having fiber run to your house, because you can't have fiber or whatever the reasons are, you give LocalTel a call. They'll see if they can make you happy, all right? Let's take a look at the weather forecast from the National Weather Service. The big story is going to be two things: still cooler than normal temperatures, and still we're going to have some sunshine, but boy, is it going to get a little on the windy side. So it's going to be cool today, 85. Take a look at this. Breezy today, and then downright windy Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to see winds, we're going to gusts up to 20 miles an hour tonight, 25 mile an hour gusts on Wednesday. Wednesday night, 25 mile an hour gusts. Gusts above 30 at times on Thursday as another low pressure system comes down from the Gulf of Alaska, which is why we have all of these cool temperatures that's going on. So take a look. There you go. It's going to be pretty sustained winds. They really begin tonight, and it's not going to let up until Thursday night. It's still going to be breezy Thursday night into Friday, but it's going to be a nice weather to go fly a kite. But if you're looking for sunny and warm temperatures that we typically get in July, you're going to have to wait. Don't think we're going to get to 85. Yesterday's high was only 77. That's all we got to on Monday. They measured that up at Pangbourne Memorial Airport, of course. Our normal highs should be 87, so we were well below normal. And that means 9 out of the last 10 days have seen our high temperatures below normal. And with widespread windy conditions, that's going to keep the temperatures down as well. Look at that, 80, 80, 79. That's chilly for mid to late July. A lot of people say they like this kind of weather. I like it. It's July. It's supposed to be sunny and hot. But things are going to change once we get to the weekend. Look at Sunday, 90, 93, a distinct possibility on Monday. And it looks like the long-term forecast, once we get through the weekend into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be sunny and hot for most of next week. So we are a little behind on the sunny and the warm weather. But again, the big story is going to be the wind, quite windy beginning tonight, lasting all the way Thursday night into Friday. Then we calm down, temperatures below normal. We got a newscast coming your way here in just about a minute, but before we do that, we want to thank our friends at Confluence Health for sponsoring this program. Confluence Health, dedicated to providing safe, quality health care for everybody in North Central Washington. Thanks to our friends at Confluence Health for sponsoring Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. All right, take a break, grab a cup of coffee, come right on back. In 1 minute, we got your Tuesday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Tuesday, the 16th day of July. Live from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
They may not be from you, but they're a part of your family. For many reasons, not all children are being raised by their parents. Are you a family member who has stepped in to help raise grandchildren, nieces, or nephews? Whether court-ordered or not, Aging and Adult Care may be able to assist you with many needs. Kinship Care helps keep family and community ties together. Learn more about Kinship Care by contacting Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington, working together for a better quality of life for all.
Welcome back. 64 degrees, quite a bit of cloud cover, a mixture of clouds and sun today. Cooler than normal temperatures for most of this week. Also quite windy at times, but a sunny and warm weekend heading our way. Here's what's making news on this Tuesday. The power line fire in the Mattawa area is now at 7,800 acres, and officials say it's about 50% contained. Calm winds and cooler than normal temperatures helped firefighters gain the upper hand yesterday. And last night, the fire started around 12:30 On Sunday afternoon, it's burning in grass and in sagebrush. Level 1 and 2 evacuations are in place for some residents. The fire is currently threatening homes, crops, feedlots, and infrastructure. Officials believe the fire started from sparks emitted from 2 motorcycles. No injuries have been reported and no buildings have been lost. Well, a 60-year-old man has been arrested for drunken driving after crashing his pickup into the Mission Court Apartments in Wenatchee. This happened on Sunday morning. Wenatchee police say James R. Park was driving his red Silverado northbound on Mission Street about 10:30 in the morning when he went into the sidewalk in Mission and First, onto the sidewalk, I should say. Then he hit a traffic light pole and then finally crashed into the apartment building. Fortunately, there were no injuries. The Washington State Patrol says a road rage incident involving a couple of motorcycles and a black Chevrolet pickup truck caused delays near Lower Sunny Slope Road eastbound on US 2. This happened early Sunday evening. Witness descriptions say the vehicles were going back and forth before the pickup pulled up alongside the motorcycles, drifted into them. That caused the bikes to hit each other, knocking one of the drivers off their bike. The pickup truck then fled the scene. The drivers of the motorcycles were transported to Central Washington Hospital to treat minor injuries. Despite witness reports, neither driver can remember seeing the truck come alongside their direction. Trooper John Anderson says the conflicting reports of the incident is going to make it hard for charges to be filed against the driver if, in fact, they are located.
So it sounds like this was kind of a road rage incident. However, it was initially being investigated as a hit and run. However, with the conflicting reports, it looks like that is most likely not going to be the result, the end charge, if this other party is located.
Pickup truck is described as a late 80s to late 90s black Chevrolet Silverado diesel driven by a male plus 2 passengers apparently inside. It has a blue or gray stripe in the back window and no license plate. REC Silicon shut down their plant on Monday. Operations at their Moses Lake plant came to an end, and about 150 employees are without jobs due to the ongoing U.S.-China trade dispute. A company news release says WorkSource will hold an emergency response and dislocated worker orientation this Wednesday, July 17th, at the WorkSource Columbia Basin office in Moses Lake. Laid-off workers can learn more about unemployment benefits, trade adjustment assistance, retraining, job search assistance, and more. The closure comes after China imposed the tariffs on U.S. polysilicon in 2013 after the Trump administration imposed tariffs on Chinese solar panels. The tariffs effectively prevented REC from selling their product to the Chinese market, which at the time produced about 90% of the world's solar panels. Washington State tree fruit producer CMI Orchards showcased the company's American Dream apples and cherries at Monday's Made in America event at the White House. Businesses from each of the 50 states were invited to display their products made and produced in the United States. Wenatchee-based CMI Orchards has 8 warehouses in Washington State and delivers fruit domestically and overseas to over 60 countries. Company President Bob Mast, who's seen here speaking with President Trump, explained that the American Dream label was created to honor U.S. military veterans. Mast says CMI's American Dream program includes a component that gives back to military and veteran causes deemed most important to their retail accounts. He says they work with their customers to give a portion of proceeds to causes that matter to their region and customer base. And finally, on this Tuesday morning, is going on right now at Lake Chelan, all over the Lake Chelan Valley, as a matter of fact. It's a unique 10-day musical event. It kicked off last week. It continues. It's the 38th annual Lake Chelan Bachfest. Brings all kinds of different styles of music to a variety of venues throughout Chelan, from classical to jazz, string quartets paired with wine. We caught up with co-president Carrie Travers at the Riverwalk Park Pavilion in Chelan. The event culminates, by the way, with a free concert on Saturday.
Lake Chelan Bachfest started in 1981, so this happens to be our 38th year, which is pretty amazing because most festivals that have been around that long have like a major organization behind them, and we are entirely supported by this little community. It started out as a weekend of choral music because they were dedicating the organ of the Methodist Church, and has grown now to this 10-day festival that has 20 events. We bring in about 100 musicians, and we house those musicians as well. And so it's grown, and we don't do just Bach anymore. We do a wide variety of music. This year we're doing flamenco music at the Vogue, which I think is going to be really cool. We have a string quartet that plays at wineries, and Bach didn't write any quartets. They do play some Bach arrangements, but they do a wide variety of other things. This year they're playing a Brahms string quartet as their featured quartet for the week. So we do a wide variety of other kinds of music. Some of the people haven't always been classical music aficionados, but they come, they'll like go to a winery concert and say, hey, this was really fun, and then they'll start coming to other concerts. And so that's, I think it's the live performance aspect. It's really fun to watch musicians play and to hear the quality of music. Pops in the Park, that's our Pops concert. That is free. We do take up a donation, and it features usually some lighter classical music. This year it will feature Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony, which people will say, well, that doesn't ring a bell to me, but it's quite well known, and so most people will actually recognize the two movements that we'll be playing. We also playing Porgy and Bess, some highlights from Porgy and Bess. We'll also be playing some of Sound of Music, and then we have some overtures and that sort of thing. So it's a pretty light concert. The neat thing about that this year is we're having a wine garden. Starts at 6, and we have some food trucks that'll be here, so you can kind of make a whole evening out of it. Come have your dinner, have a little glass of wine, and then come to the concert. The schedule is on our bachfest.org website, and you can order tickets from the website, and that you print off a receipt, and that would get you into the concert. You can also pick up tickets at the Chamber of Commerce, but you can also buy tickets at the door, which is probably, frankly, the easiest thing. And we now have the ability to use credit cards as well. I enjoy the musicians who come, and I enjoy playing in the orchestra. It's a really fine orchestra. It's probably the best orchestra that I play in.
And once again, it wraps up this Saturday night with a free concert. Go check it out. Bachfest is back again. Been going strong since 1981. Our news has been going strong for, I don't know, about a year or so, something like that. Grant Olson will handle the news tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. He also handles the weather forecasting. He's been a busy guy lately, as you might imagine, with all this strange weather we've been having. Grant in the anchor chair, plus he'll be doing some forecasting. Eric Grandstrom will be talking sports. You can check out the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock right here on the NCW Live channel. You can watch the news on our live stream by going to our website at ncwlive.com, or you can watch the news at your own convenience, whatever you feel like it, because we put the news on our website at ncwlive.com. And take a look at the bottom of your screen and write all that stuff down, because there'll be a test later on. There's no test. But that's all the different ways you can get a hold of us. Pick up the telephone and give us a call. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. You can drop us a line via our Facebook page. Just go to Facebook, our Facebook page, and message us. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to like us while you're there. Or you can contact us by going to our website at ncwlife.com and click on the Contact Us icon. And so you can either submit a news tip or just drop us a line. The news at 5, 6, and 10 tonight. Don't miss it. We're going to take a break. When we come back, sports, we're going fishing with Eric. The Chinook salmon season opened early today, and Eric couldn't resist. He and Marion went out to try their luck. And they did pretty good. We'll talk and fishing when we get back with sports. Plus, we have the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to my Magnolia's opinion. And Rhona Baron will be my guest. We're talking the big Cashmere Ciderfest. The big chill is Saturday afternoon and evening in Cashmere. All that coming up between now and 8 o'clock. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning, still from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
I told Mr. Nielsen about Simon. He's the best doctor because I like the medicines like he gives me.
He asks more questions, and that's why I feel like he's more interested in the health. For me, it means a lot. That means he really cares about him.
I like you, Simon, and you're my best friend.
La primavera ya está aquí en Town Nissan y también nuestros carros certificados como este Nissan Altima y este Nissan Rogue. Cada uno de estos vehículos pasa por 167 puntos de inspección. Estás cubierto por 7 años o 100,000 millas de garantía y te puedes ahorrar miles de dólares en estos modelos populares. Y hablando de las mejores garantías de América, 5 años o 100,000 millas en todas las trocas nuevas Titan. Compra inteligentemente y con confidencia en el Town Nissan, atrás de la casco en East Wenatchee.
20 minutes after the hour, we have mostly cloudy skies, 64 degrees. The clouds and the sun are going to do battle all day today, lower 80s, quite a bit of wind starting tonight and lasting all the way through Thursday, and then a sunny and pleasant weekend. We hope. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's do sports. To the surprise of a lot of people and to the delight of a lot of anglers, they have a Chinook salmon fishing season on the Upper Columbia River. Didn't look like this was going to happen just a week ago, and Eric Grandstrom and his lovely wife, Marion, they couldn't resist. They got the boat out first thing in the morning, and by first thing in the morning, I mean last night. And as soon as it was legally okay to fish, they started fishing. And Eric filed this report.
Well, good morning, Dan, and good morning, NCW Life television viewers on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is a crazy morning here on the Columbia River, just below BB Bridge. Marion and I came out last night and launched. We were the only boat out here, but that was at midnight, of course, her Brainiac ideas. But the bite came on for us 3:30 this morning. We caught our first fish, and then we just had a double. We've got our buddy Dave Kepke on board with us here today, and we've got a lot of company now. I'd say there's at least 75 boats that are out here taking advantage of what is the opener that we didn't think was going to happen. In fact, Marion, there's a boat netting one right over here, that North River. See if they can get it while we've got the camera going. He's reaching down for it. Sometimes the fish don't agree with what you want to do. I think they got it. But we've got 3 fish in the box, so come on, I'll show you what we've got here. Or at least a representation of what we've got. So here we go. This is what everybody's in search of here on the Columbia River. With the summer Chinook fishery that's happening here on the Columbia, as well as the Eniac, and just upstream from us a little bit in the mouth of the Chelan River. So that's what we're up to today. We're going to have much more coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News. Thanks for joining us, and good fishing.
Good for you, Eric. That's good stuff indeed. Eric will have more on the Chinook salmon season opener, as he mentioned, with sports a little bit later on. One more item of business to get to. The Wenatchee Apple Sox had a non-league game. They took on the U.S. Military All-Stars last night at Paul Thomas Senior Field. Came away with a victory, 13-8, but it really wasn't about the baseball. It was about honoring those people who were serving our country. I was there with our camera, had a chance to talk to the head coach of the U.S. Military All-Stars. We'll have a little feature on that as well with sports tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Mariners, of course, didn't play. They had the day off. They'll be back in action today. And by the way, the Apple Sox, speaking of the Apple Sox, is off to Canada. They have a 3-game series against Kelowna beginning tonight at 6:35. That's just some of the games and some of the fish that people are catching at 24 minutes after the hour. Let's do the obscure holiday. Today is National Personal Chef Day. Yeah, we recognize the dedication and the hard work that all personal chefs go through each day, but there is a difference, and I found this out yesterday. There's a difference between a personal chef, which is what today is all about, and a private chef. A private chef usually works exclusively for one client, one family, usually a very wealthy family. They usually live on the person's home or property, on the compound, so to speak. But a personal chef has a lot of different clients. They run their own business or they run their own company, and they cook all kinds of different meals for all kinds of different people. Of course, they do meal plans depending on the dietary need of the client's preferences. They often make meals that you just take home when you cook, so you don't have to do it. Personal chefs, the personal chef industry is skyrocketing because people have less and less time than they ever had before. They don't really have time to prepare a formal sit-down meal that most people, at least my generation, grew up with anyway. So they have personal chefs who will take care of that for you. Here's dinner. Thank you very much. A lot of personal chefs, of course, have gone through culinary programs are pretty good at what they do. They have to be pretty good at what they do. And it's not just the cooking. They got to go to the shopping, and they're standing all day, and it's prepping, and it's about organization. It can be a long, difficult job. So if you have a personal chef out there, make them a meal for once. And if you have a private chef, you don't have a day. I'm pretty sure there's no private chef obscure holiday. If there is, I apologize. Happy Personal Chef Day today. 25 minutes after the hour. Today in history, July 16th, 1941. Hey, make it 56 in a row for the Yankee Clipper. Joe DiMaggio went 3 for 4 at the plate for his 56th consecutive game with having at least one hit. He's going to go for 57 tomorrow against Cleveland. We'll let you know how he does. Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak reached 56 games. People, my dad would tell me this because he was around then. This whole thing just enveloped the country. I mean, every day people would get up, and the first thing they would do is they go to their newspaper and find out if Joe DiMaggio got a hit the day before. The entire country followed Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak. He got to 56. Will he get to 57? Tune in tomorrow. This is a highly overlooked date in the world of the atomic age, but the atomic age actually began 74 years ago today. The United States successfully detonated a plutonium-based nuclear weapon near Alamogordo, New Mexico, July 16, 1945. Basically, they said, it works. We got the bomb. Nobody else does. What are we going to do with it? We all know what they did with it, but the atomic age began on this date out in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico on July 16, 1945. And this is the 20th anniversary of the death of JFK Jr., who was en route to attend his cousin Rory's wedding in Massachusetts. He was piloting his Piper Saratoga aircraft. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., his plane, of course, crashed into the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. His wife, Carolyn Bessette, and Carolyn Bessette's sister, Lauren Bessette, were also killed in the crash. It happened 20 years ago today. And finally, some birthdays. Happy birthday, Jimmy Johnson. I've always respected this guy as a coach, Jimmy Johnson. I don't think he's much of a television guy, but I think he's a really good football coach, and he's proved it. Johnson was the very first college football coach to lead teams to both a major college football championship and a Super Bowl. 2 other coaches, of course, have since done that, Barry Switzer and our own Pete Carroll, but Jimmy Johnson was the first. Jimmy Johnson is 76 years old today, and Will Ferrell is 52 years old today. Will Ferrell, of course, got his big break on Saturday Night Live, part of that legendary cast. Of course, he left Saturday Night Live and went out, and his first few movies were really funny. Anchorman, Talladega Nights, a few others, and then the quality of his movies have been going downhill ever since. Anchorman 2 was okay, I guess. Elf was pretty good. Blades of Glory, not so much. Megamind, I don't know. Will Ferrell can do better. Try hard, Will. You're funny. We miss you when you were really funny. Will Ferrell, he's 52 years old today. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Mike McNaughty is losing his hearing. He's losing a lot of things. His hair, his sanity, but today it's about losing your hearing. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNaughty's opinion. Then my conversation with Rhona Baron, talking about the big Cashmere Ciderfest. The big chill is this Saturday in Cashmere. A conversation you don't want to miss is coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 5 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
The best pizza in the known universe is right here in downtown Chelan, so come on up. For the best locally crafted beer and barbecue in Chelan, come on up.
For the best down-home scratch country cooking in north central Washington, you'll find it in Manson. Come on up.
Come on up. Come on up.
Come on up.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
If you love tennis, you need to experience Central Washington's best-kept secret, Harmony Meadows. Harmony Meadows is a world-class destination tennis and event center nestled between the Cascades and Orchardland in the beautiful Chelan Valley. The 8 outdoor tennis courts feature Lake Hole Masters 8, a cushioned surface used at the Miami Open. There's also 2 outdoor pickleball courts. With the stunning backdrops, Harmony Meadows is your ace destination. Call or see them on the web. Harmony Meadows.
Dear Mary Maids, please clean the kitchen, and the cabinets, and the floors, and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time. Mary Maids.
Cosmetic surgery and treatment is the most personal of decisions. It is also a field that's evolving at an incredible pace. Dr. Jones, board-certified plastic surgeon, understands that once you arrive at the decision to enhance your appearance, you'll want proven, safe, state-of-the-art technology. You'll find this at Valley Plastic Surgery, delivered by an experienced and caring staff. Dr. Jones and his staff are ready to welcome you.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, did you ever notice that hearing loss is the only physical disability which the person who is suffering from hearing loss is blamed and yelled at because of this disability? Now think about it. Who shows disrespect to a blind person because they can't see? Who disdains the physical shortcoming of an amputee? Do we blame a person who is paralyzed from the waist down for being in a wheelchair? No, of course not. But just wait. Just wait until somebody's hearing starts to go. And brother, oh, is that different? If you have to say what, come again, or huh, because you don't hear something, people get mad at you. Now, how much sense does that make? So, my hearing's going, and my family's insisting I get hearing aids. Ain't gonna do it. And you know why? Because I've already heard enough. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Hi, I'm Lehman Williams, General Manager of Crown Furniture and Mattress. 3 years ago, we decided to make a change to focus on products built in the USA. We made this decision based on better construction, better quality, and better warranties. At Crown Furniture and Mattress, we take great pride in knowing with each and every delivery, we're not just delivering furniture, we're delivering quality and comfort for your family to enjoy for years to come. So stop by and feel the difference at 736 South Wenatchee Avenue, across from Stan's.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson, where we've got huge news. We've started our Blueberry U-Pick. It's a great time to toss the family in the car and get on out to Blueberry Hills, where you can get the best down-home scratch country cooking around and pick some of the world's most delicious and largest blueberries that have been high desert farmed. This makes for an intense blueberry flavor, and they are so much fun to pick. Our fields are open 8 to 2:30 daily and restaurant from 8 to 3, so come on out and join us.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
SkillSource specializes in assessing and guiding youth, adults, and laid-off workers who want to improve their skills. Here you can attend in-depth workshops to assess skills and interests, make career plans, and learn computer basics.
Learning centers provide eligible youth and adults individualized computer-assisted basic education. Vocational training is arranged with approved providers like community colleges or on the job with businesses.
Don't wait any longer. Let's get working on the future you've been dreaming about.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Lots of things going on this weekend, but one event stands above the fray. It's your chance to head on out to the beautiful town of Cashmere and drink some cider, because this area is becoming a mecca for cider enthusiasts. We're all familiar with the wineries that have been just thriving over the last 20, 25 years. Wenatchee now has a brewer's row, but there's also cider. There's a lot of cider out there, and you can taste them all. Have yourself a little party. It happens again in Cashmere. And here to talk about that is the lady who runs the Cascade Farmlands. That's what's it pronounced again? I'm sorry.
Cascade, well, we just say Cascade Farmlands, but you
Okay.
could say Cascade Farmlands Foothill Association.
There you go.
If you wanted to be super technical. And I know how much you like to be super
Yeah,
technical.
that's super technical. That's me. Rhona Baron, everybody knows Rhona. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to be back.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah.
Saturday, you ready?
No.
No, you never are. You never are.
Well, we put on big events. Our association puts on the 2 Leavenworth wine walks, and we get 800 plus people for each one of those, and we have about 30 participants between gift shops and wineries. And now we have the Big Chill coming up, and it's a new event. This is only the second year. So it doesn't feel rote yet. It feels like there's a lot of pieces to put together.
So last year you were kind of working without an instruction manual. You just,
That's
let's
right.
get together and put on a show and see what happens, and it worked, obviously, or you wouldn't be doing the second one, right? I mean,
It did work. We had about 375 people that came, 400 people that came last year for our very first event. So we were really happy about that. But more than that, it's part of our mission in Cascade Farmlands to promote what's happening in this region. And as you were saying, ciders are happening in a pretty recent period here in the last several years.
So you brought the brand new map. By the way, of course, they come up with these maps every year. The Cascade Food Investment Association.
Wait,
And-
I can make it easier.
Look.
Cascade Farmlands.
Cascade Farmland.
Okay.
And there's a lot more ciders in here than I thought. It's divvied up by wineries, restaurants, fruits, and stuff like that. But ciders, and this is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have virtually every cider maker in the region on this map. And by the region, I mean Chelan County and just beyond. So, if you go down to Yakima or Ellensburg, there'll be more. But I'm talking about just here.
Just north central Washington.
Yeah,
area,
and there's like 15. If you count the wineries that are also making a little bit of cider, you might say 17. But 3 years ago, there were 3 or 4. So the wave is starting to crest here.
How do you
So
account
we're
for that?
excited.
Why is this becoming a cider haven all of a sudden? Simply because this is where the fruit is grown, so we might as well make cider too, or?
Well, honestly, it's a little more complicated question. So, we specialize in food and drink and agricultural tourism. And that has changed over the years. So this area started out as the apple capital of the world, but also growing other great tree fruit. And for a long time, that was the main emphasis. And then we saw farmers markets and we saw wines and now ciders. And it isn't just that we have orchards here. It's also that people that grow are looking for ways to diversify. And they're doing what's called creating this boring technical term, value-added products. So they're looking for ways to create products that can be available all year long, and they aren't so tied to a growing season. So a small grower can sustain their business and sustain their livelihood and their vision for staying close to the land. So that's part of it.
So, and we talked about this, wineries, of course, have just exploded over the last 25 years. So it's not just we have so many wineries all over north central Washington, but it's high quality wine. It's really good wine for you wine aficionados out there. Same deal with the cider. I'm not a real cider expert, but is the cider that's being made here top quality stuff?
Well, some of it is really excellent. I mean, it's surprising because some people have an idea that ciders are sweet or apple juicy or They're not very interesting, they're not very complex, but the people that are making cider here are way beyond that. So, for instance, in Great Britain, that's really a cider drinking nation. And it's not as big as wine. It's not as big as wine anywhere in the world, but there's a much bigger percentage that drink cider in Europe, especially, say, Great Britain. And those are pretty nuanced beverages. They have all these descriptive terms like you do with wine.
Sure.
One is scrumpy, another is farmhouse. You know, they're different terms, but if you really get into it, it's pretty sophisticated. And we have growers here, or makers here, that do those kinds of ciders, and they're delicious.
So that's what we call them. We call them cider makers. That's the official.
Yeah, cider crafters, cider
Okay.
makers, producers. They're closer to a vintner in what they do than a brewer of beer.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. What happens on Saturday for the big party? Where do we go? What do we do? How do I get in?
Okay,
What's
the
it all
big
about?
party's called the Big Chill.
Okay.
It was named by the folks up at Rootwood, actually. I think I was visiting with them. They're in Manson. And they thought Big Chill is a cool name, and I love that Bogart movie, and there we go. So we're doing it. It's Saturday from 3 to 8, and we did it outdoors last year. We call it the Big Chill, but we didn't have enough misters up, so it really wasn't that chilly because it was 101 degrees. So now we're moving it indoors, and it's inside the Riverside Center.
Which is a perfect location.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and you can go inside, and you can also go outside there. And we're dedicated to working with the community of Cashmere because part of our mission is to be all around our region, doing events and promoting what's happening in this kind of line.
So you pay your money, you get a what, tokens, a goodie bag? What do you get?
I should have brought that for you.
You should have brought cider too, but we won't get into that.
I almost did.
So what do you get with your admission?
Yeah, so you get a tote bag that's sections, and you get tasting tokens. There are 3-ounce pours. You get 12 of those and a 13th coin to vote for your favorites. That's another sample. And then you get, our tasting map inside. And you get this great little glass. I think you have a picture of that somewhere. And inside there's a cider store set up. And that cider store will have, from the 14 participants, will have 2 or 3 kinds of cider. So in our region right now, there's not really a good bottle store. I mean, there's some that try, but we will have the best bottle store for the region ciders that day. So if nothing else, come and sample, and that's your chance to, in one spot, take home what you like.
It sounds perfect for the not only the cider aficionado, but somebody who's a novice in the world of ciders.
Yeah.
These cider makers are not going to, you can go and say, I really don't know what I like or what I didn't. They're going to help you out, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're super friendly. They're super knowledgeable. And it's your chance to try and learn what a dry cider is and what a cider that's based on pear juice instead of apple juice tastes like, and really get into some subtleties. And there's also the Cashmere Museum has an exhibit on cider making. So you can see firsthand all the steps that you go through to make ciders.
And it's pretty complicated. It's very complicated. I was surprised. I thought, you just squish them all up and let them age, and boom, you got it. But it's not. It's a process, isn't it?
You start by squishing.
Yeah.
So.
but after that,
Right.
It's complicated.
Yeah, and they're trying to get
it's
different.
an art form.
Yeah, they're trying to get different qualities from the ciders. So yeah, if you're thinking of the big commercial brands in America or cider you tried in the past, it's not like that.
No. How many different cider makers? We have the slide of all the different cider makers. It looks like all of them are going to be there at one
we
point
have
or
a
another.
couple that aren't in our region, but almost all the rest of them are.
There they are.
Oh.
They'll be your participants.
Okay. So let's see. The only one missing there is someone who just joined. They're called Chelan Craft Cider, and they're up in Chelan. And yes, these are our participants. Tieton is from farthest away. They're down by Yakima. They're a pretty big brand. People have probably heard of them. And then Independent, where do I see them? Yeah, and Parup, they're right next to each other. They both make pear ciders, as you can see.
Which
there.
I've never had.
Yeah.
I've never had a pear cider.
Oh, you
before.
haven't?
No. That's. I associate cider, and I think most people associate cider with apples.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what they. I've never had a pear cider.
Is this my moment to bring out the visual aid?
Do you have another visual aid?
I do.
More?
I have.
What do you got? Did you sneak something in here when I wasn't paying attention?
Yeah.
Wow. This is rare. I rarely pay attention. What do you got? Oh, that's cool.
So, I mean, how much artificial fruit do I have at my house? But
Yeah.
I did have this beautiful paper mache pear.
Oh,
So this is a visual aid. And then this is supposed to represent an apple. Okay, I think it's a cherimoya.
Uh-huh. Did you
But
make
anyway,
these yourself, Rhona?
No, we got them in Mexico.
Okay.
And they're like, I really like them. Anyway, so pear ciders. The people that are making pear ciders around here are mostly using dessert pears, so they are indeed taking generations old orchards and repurposing that fruit for this purpose. And they have a lighter flavor. I mean, this is my opinion. They have a lighter flavor. They can get very dry, although apple can too, but I feel like pear can get even drier. And they start with pear juice, and it's actually very uncommon. Like in America, there aren't many that do it, but as the executive director of Cascade Farmlands, I can attest to the fact that in the Upper Valley, we grow one of the best and largest organic pear crops in the world. People think of us as apples, but we have this amazing
up in the
pear
Pichesse and Dryden
harvest.
area, there's a lot of really nice pear orchards up there.
Yeah, and it's known around the world. So that fruit, and then like Kevin from Pear Up that was on our picture there, he's in East Wenatchee. But anyway, that's being made into pear-based ciders.
Are all
So it's
ciders
quite
by
rare.
definition sweet or tart? Is that, I mean, what makes it a cider, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, okay, so
Uh-huh.
that's interesting too. So I'll go back to Rootwood in Manson.
Okay.
They have orchards there, apple orchards, that are many generations. And they actually grafted, I think, about a dozen different kinds of apples onto their trees to make cider because, with the exception of Granny Smith, which I think is what bad granny cider makers specialize in, most dessert apples would not have the properties that you want for making cider. They're too bland, actually, when they're juiced. They're not sort of tart enough or dry enough. So the cider apples are different than the eating apples.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, dessert pears is what they're using for pears.
Before I forget, because obviously you're going to have a chance to have a whole bunch of really good cider on Saturday at the Riverside Center in Cashmere. What about food? When I go to these things, I like to eat. You gonna have some food vendors there too?
Yes,
or?
we are, so you'll be happy.
Okay.
You know, last year we had some food trucks that came in, and that was fine, but I wanted to do something more specific to what's local. So there is a business in Leavenworth called Local Yokel, and they have a huge farm, they're growing up on North Road. I don't know if you've ever seen that up there. So there's a large farm up there. They grow beautiful produce. And they are going to be our caterer, our sole caterer for the event. So I really want to make this very, very local and very relevant. And so they'll be there with all kinds of treats. So definitely there'll be delicious food there.
And my guess is they're going to make the right kind of food that is going to be paired with ciders. I'm pretty good at pairing food and wine. I would have no idea how to pair food and a cider.
I know,
would be
we've
lost.
been talking about that actually, because
Yeah.
that's not an art that gets a lot of conversation, right?
Yeah.
So I've been working with them to, come up with the best plan for eating. But it'll be it's not like a full meal, but it'll be meal-like. It's not just little nibbles either.
Okay. Because people want substantial. They want to.
Yeah, right. For sure you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's this cost, by the way, if you want to go do the big chill, the big cider
that.
fest?
Let's see.
That's
Did we
an
put
important
that on
thing.
here?
I don't know,
Yes,
did you?
we did. We did.
Okay.
There's our big chill. So for couples, it's $55.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's really affordable. This
Yeah.
is our local thing. And then for a single, it's $30. And as we say here, cider debuts and tastes, food, games, exhibits. And the games are the kind of games that you see around cider places, tossing and making blocks. And so that's going to be set up outside, and you'll be able to hang out outside in the tent and tables.
It looks like right now the weather's going to be very pleasant. Looks like it's going to be sunny, but not hot. It looks good. It's going to be like 82, 83, but lots of sunshine on
Oh,
Saturday.
really? I'm glad you checked.
If this forecast holds true, and it should. So
Well,
we should be all
isn't
right.
this a strange year, though?
It's been still waiting for summer.
I know, I got up this morning, and I was
Yeah.
like, it's cold again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
So last year, like I said, it was 101 degrees. And this year, we're, heat proof in that we have the Riverside Center. But it should be a really nice day. And that spot in the Riverside Center, I don't know if people have been there, but it's right on the in the park there, close to the river, and it's a lovely location.
Oh, it's beautiful, yeah.
And there's tons of free parking too.
It's a perfect location. I noticed when I'm looking at your map, by the way, which this is the brand new one, it's available anywhere.
It's brand new. Yeah, we have 1,000 locations.
Lots of sponsors here, but I
around the
noticed
state.
on the main page here, you got a little Port of Chelan County in the lower right-hand corner. Locate your business here, ChooseChelanCounty.com. You have a special relationship with the port. How does that work?
Yeah, so Cascade Farmlands has been supported by the Port of Chelan County for over 15 years.
Okay.
And our mission with them, and part of their mission is to drive economic growth. And so we've always specialized in driving it in this way. And how we do that, though, as I said, is changing, because it's no longer just growers, trying to have a fruit stand. There are so many more things happening now. And in fact, this is quite fascinating. And if anyone wants to talk to me about it, they should feel free. We have special funding from the port to work with Colin Brine at Be Clearly. And he has an organization that helps poll the general public and take the sort of temperature around issues. They did a project with the PUD. They've done many projects. Anyway, they're helping us do an assessment of where food and drink and ag tourism is right now, and where we want it to go, and where it should go, and where the energy is, and where the excitement is. And I think what it means to be the apple capital of the world has changed a lot.
Yeah,
and so we're trying to regroup, and next year we'll move forward as Cascade Farmlands with this new exciting information in place. So I do encourage anyone to contact me if you want to know more about Cascade Farmlands. It's cascadefarmlands.com.
And maybe the best thing about all of this is that, as Rhona mentioned, a couple of years ago there were 2 or 3 cider makers, and that was it. And now there's how many? 12, 13, 14 around the...
Yeah, like I was saying, maybe 17 if you count the ones that make cider incidentally with wine. But there's 14 or 15
so
just.
That's good news. That's really good news.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's going to be a thing. I mean, what if we become the Napa of ciders? I mean, it could happen here. We're the apple capital.
Yeah,
we have the orchards. It's stunningly beautiful. Yeah.
You might be onto something.
I hope so. I hope I am.
It is the Big Chill. It is the 2nd annual Ciderfest. Again, it is this Saturday at the Riverside Center in Cashmere from, I'm sorry, the hours again?
Yeah, 3 to 8 o'clock.
3 to 8 o'clock.
And there's food, there's games, there are exhibits, there's a fabulous cider store, and there's a lot of cider to taste.
And for all the information, you can go to CascadeFarmlands.com. It's right on the very top of the page. You can't miss it.
Oh, should we do the special offer?
Yeah, do you have a special? Oh, that's right. You mentioned something. What do you got?
Well, I got to look at this. Okay. Special offer is, I'm just doing this live on your show here. If you want to get 2 additional tastes for the same price, all you do is go to this landing site. So here it is, CascadeFarmlands.com/free-taste.
Okay.
CascadeFarmlands.com/free-taste, and instead of 13 3-ounce samples, you get 15 3-ounce samples for the same price.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Is that for anybody or first come, first serve?
No, well, I mean, let's say the first 100 people.
There you
so
go.
There's plenty of tickets there.
Give it to them one more time so they can write it down.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. So it's CascadeFarmlands.com/free-taste.
Cool. That's nice of you. You didn't have to do that.
I didn't. I take it back. No.
Well, you got to put up with me.
Wanted
so.
to. I mean, we used to be able to see each other all the time.
Rhona and I used to
radio
work
station.
together back in the broadcast radio days. But who's kidding who? We're too darn good looking to be stuck on radio, so they put us on TV. Or something along those lines.
Yeah, just like that.
Have fun. It sounds like a blast. It sounds like a really good time.
Yeah, thank you. It's going to be great.
And if you had close to 400 people last year, you're going to do a lot more than that this year, I can guarantee it.
I'm excited.
All right.
We all are. We invite you all to come to the Big Chill.
There you go. Rhona, it's good to see you. Say hi to Kurt for me. And the whole family.
Absolutely will.
All right, be good. You're watching, what show are you watching? Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. No, you're not. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Ready to chill? Come to the Big Chill Ciderfest Saturday, July 20th. Be amazed by the high-quality ciders crafted right here in North Central Washington. From pear to apple to cherry, from dry to sweet. Sip and savor from 13 cider makers. Let your taste buds take flight. Get tickets now, CascadeFarmlands.com. We thank our sponsors for supporting this message.
The Cashmere Chamber of Commerce, supporting and promoting the businesses in Cashmere.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
Where will you be a year from now? You could be working as a medical assistant. The Charter College Medical Assistant Certificate Program gets you work ready in 10 months. Add 5 more months to earn an associate degree. We prepare you with hands-on training and support you after graduation with job search help and interview skills. Institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, Charter has been training healthcare professionals for more than 30 years. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Before we wrap a big old ribbon on the bow on the package that is this Tuesday morning, let's take a look at your weather forecast one more time from the National Weather Service. Things still unsettled. Atmosphere still unstable. There's a couple of low pressure systems that are kind of doing battle with each other, and the losers are us because we can't seem to break out of this cooler and wetter than normal weather. We had raindrops yesterday. Now, we were expecting some light rain, but we had more rain than we were expecting yesterday. Monday, we only hit 77 degrees. That was it. Our normal high is supposed to be 87 degrees. 9 out of the last 10 days that we've had have seen our high temperatures below normal, and this widespread cool pattern is going to continue, as you can see by the temperatures, until we get to Sunday. That's going to change. We have a big ridge of high pressure that's going to build up over the Pacific, but that's a ways away. Between now and Sunday, we're going to have to deal with cooler than normal weather and lots of wind. Take a look at that. No real wind today, and not a lot really to talk about, but things are going to start picking up wind-wise tonight. Under partly cloudy skies, we're going to get down to 65. The wind tonight for the Wenatchee Valley, west wind 5 to 14 miles an hour, gusts as high as 23 miles an hour. That's tonight. Wednesday, partly sunny, again windy on Wednesday, 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusts about 25 miles an hour at times. Wednesday night, windy, wind out of the west about 7 to 16 miles an hour, gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. Wednesday night into Thursday, another low pressure system is going to come down from the Gulf of Alaska, and that means on Thursday, not only are we going to have to deal with wind, we're talking 15 to 20 mile an hour west winds on Thursday afternoon, but we could see gusts above 30 miles an hour on Thursday afternoon. So it's going to start getting breezy later on today into tonight, and it's going to be downright windy basically from Wednesday all the way through Thursday night before we finally calm down on Friday. And with this cold air coming down from the Gulf of Alaska, as you can see Friday, lots of sunshine, but not real warm for this time of the year. 79 degrees is about 10 degrees below normal on Friday. But then things are going to change. Saturday, if you're going to go to the Ciderfest in Leavenworth, it's inside, at the Riverside Center, but there's going to be activities outside as well. So that's good news. You won't have to worry about sweating a great deal, just about perfect. Sunshine and 84 degrees, no complaints at all. Then we bump up to just about 90 on Sunday, and about 93 is a distinct possibility by the time we get to Monday. We have not had a long stretch of sunny and warm weather, or even hot weather for that matter. We had a nice stretch of sunny and warm weather above normal temperatures in May. June was pretty leveled out outside of some stray raindrops, but July just seems to be slogging along, not being typical July weather, I guess is the best way to put it. It is starting to clear out a little bit. Mixture of clouds and sun right now, and 66 degrees outside of our studios in downtown Wenatchee. Everybody have yourself a great Tuesday wherever you go today. Of course, be sure to take us along. We're portable, and provided the show isn't canceled, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.